Peru, a country in western South America, boasts varied geography and borders that traverse diverse landscapes. Except for the Lake Titicaca Basin in the southeast, its boundaries largely lie in sparsely populated zones. The name Peru is derived from a Quechua word implying land of abundance, referring to the economic wealth produced by the rich and highly organized Inca civilization that ruled the region for centuries. Additionally, Peru claims territorial waters extending 200 miles, 320 km into the Pacific Ocean to the west. The country's vast mineral, agricultural, and marine resources have long served as the economic foundation, and by the late 20th century, tourism had also become a major element of Peru's economic development. In this video, we will be talking about Peru's unique geography. So let's begin, shall we? Number 1. Land. Peru is traditionally described in terms of three broad longitudinal regions: the arid costa on the west, the rugged Sierra, or Andes, system in the center, and the wet and forested Amazonia, the tropical Amazon basin, on the east. The costa. The coastal plain can be readily divided into three parts: north, central, and south, based on the amount of level land and the distance between the Andean ranges and the sea. Generally speaking, the amount of level coastal land diminishes from north to south. In the northern region, from Ecuador to Chimbote, the plain is typically some 20 to 30 miles, 30 to 50 kilometers wide, with a maximum width of more than 90 miles, 140 kilometers, in the Sechura Desert south of Piura. The central coastal region, which stretches from Chimbote to Nazca, is narrower than the northern region and is characterized by areas of rough hills that extend from the Andes to the shores of the ocean. From Nazca southward to the Chilean border, the coast is for the most part lined by low mountains. The southern valleys are narrow, and only in scattered spots are level lands found near the ocean. The Sierra, or Andean region. Along the western edge of South America, the Andes Mountains were created by tectonic activity in which the South American plate overrode the Nazca plate. The Peruvian Andes are typical of mountain regions of the Pacific Rim. They are young in geologic terms, and their continuing uplift is manifested by frequent earthquakes and much instability. Three main backbones protrude from the Peruvian Andes. They are commonly called the Cordilleras: Occidental, Central, and Oriental. Although these designations are not used within Peru, slopes are relatively gentle in northern Peru, and maximum elevation seldom exceeds 16,000 feet, about 5,000 meters. The Andes in central Peru are higher and more rugged. The ranges of the central zone form particularly difficult barriers to movement. The main pass east of Lima, for instance, is at an elevation of more than 15,000 feet, 4,500 meters, higher than many of the peaks in the north. Many of the mountains of central Peru are snow-capped and are a popular attraction for climbers and tourists. Of particular fame is the Cordillera Blanca, with the country's highest peak, Mount Huascarán, at 22,205 feet, 6,768 meters, and nearby Huascarán National Park, designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1985. In southern Peru, the character of the Andes changes to that of a high plateau region. This is the Puna, with vast tablelands and elevations between 13,000 and 16,000 feet, about 4,000 and 5,000 meters. Scattered peaks with elevations of up to about 21,000 feet, 6,400 meters, protrude above the broad southern plateaus. Amazonia of Peru. The lower slopes of the western Andes merge with the heavily forested tropical lowlands of the Amazon basin to form the region known as Amazonia, which occupies more than 3/5 of the area of Peru. An area of dense cloud forests is found in the zone immediately adjacent to the Andes. This area is referred to as the Montaña. The jungle areas in the eastern part of Amazonia are referred to as the selva. The physiography of the region is characterized by rolling hills and level plains that extend eastward to the borders with Colombia, Brazil, and Bolivia. Elevations are uniformly low, ranging from about 300 feet, 1,000 meters, at the eastern edge of the Andes to about 260 feet, 80 meters, above sea level, along the Amazon River at the Peru-Brazil border. Moving on, number 2, climate. Three broad climatic regions can be readily distinguished in Peru, paralleling the three main topographic regions: the Costa, the Sierra, and Amazonia. Coastal desert. From the Peruvian-Ecuadorian border south to northern Chile, the west coast of South America has one of the Earth's driest climates. This region is dry for three reasons. 1. The Andes block rain-bearing winds from the Amazon basin. 2. Air masses moving toward the coast out of the South Pacific high-pressure system produce little rainfall. And 3. Northward flowing cold water off the coast, the Peru Current, also known as the Humboldt Current, contributes little moisture to surface air masses. This is not a hot desert, however. Average temperatures of the costa range from 66 degree, 19 degrees C in winter to 72 degree, 22 degrees C in summer. Despite its dryness, some parts of the costa receive sufficient moisture from winter fogs, locally known as garua, to support some vegetation. Mountain climates within the Sierra are a wide range of climates that vary according to such factors as latitude, elevation, local winds, and rain shadow effects. In general, temperatures decrease as elevation increases, and rainfall decreases from north to south and from east to west. During the December-March rainy season, the heaviest precipitation is in the north and along the eastern flanks of the Andes. Temperatures vary little seasonally, but there is a tremendous diurnal range between daily highs and lows. For example, in Cuzco, at an elevation of 11,152 feet, 399 meters, the January average temperature is 52 degrees, 11 degrees C, and the July average is 47 degrees, 8 degrees C. The diurnal range, however, is frequently more than 40 degrees, 22 degrees C, between the midday maximum and the pre-dawn minimum. Snow falls in the Sierra at higher elevations, and many peaks have permanent snow. Tropical forest climates. Hot, humid conditions characterize the Amazonia climate of eastern Peru. Rainfall throughout the region is high. Iquitos averages more than 90 inches, 2,200 millimeters annually, with precipitation common throughout the year, although it is somewhat heavier from December to March. There is little seasonal variation of temperatures, but the diurnal range again is relatively large. Daytime highs at Iquitos sometimes extend into the mid-90s F, mid-30s C, whereas at night temperatures may fall into the 60s F, upwards of 15 degrees. Moving on, number 3. Drainage. Distinctive drainage patterns dissect the costa, the Sierra, and Amazonia. Of the more than 50 rivers that flow west from the Andes across the costa, most are short, usually less than 200 miles, 325 kilometers long, and precipitous, with highly seasonal rates of flow. Most have a period of peak flow, usually during the December to March rainy season, followed by a long dry period. Only the largest of the costa rivers, such as the Santa, have dependable year-round flows. The Sierra not only contains the headwaters of the streams that flow to both the Pacific and the Amazon, but also has a large area of internal drainage. In the south, several rivers cross the Altiplano in Peru to empty into Lake Titicaca, which is shared with Bolivia and is, at an elevation of 12,500 feet, 810 meters, the world's highest navigable body of water. Amazonia is characterized by great rivers. The Amazon, with the largest volume of flow of any river in the world, has headwaters that rise in several places in the Peruvian Andes. One of the main branches, the Ucayali, originates in southern Peru, some 1,700 miles, 2,700 kilometers, from its juncture with the main river. The Amazon is navigable, but such large tributaries as the Marañón, Huallaga, and Ucayali can be navigated only for relatively short distances west of the port of Iquitos. These rivers flow northward in long, deep valleys before turning east to join the Amazon, forming mostly hindrances to transportation rather than important trade routes. And that's it for this video. Please click the like and subscribe buttons down below if you found it useful. To make sure you don't miss any uploads, tap the bell icon. Share the video and comment down your thoughts. See you in the next one.